literally someone started yelling at me because I was going in my parking garage too fast. And then so they yelled at me, and they didn't think I went in reverse to come back. I went reverse to confront them, and I'm like, you can just say it to my face.
Yeah.
And he called me a fucking asshole. And I was like, this is not how I want to spend my energy. This is not. And so to that, it was like, number one, pick and choose my confrontations. Sure. Second thing that I've gotten better at is that most of the time when we're arguing or confronting people, we just want to be heard.
Right.
And so I stopped doing that. And I'd say 90% I'm good about it. What I try to do is say, what is the solution I want? So when I call customer support, we have customer support at Sumo. People are like, I just want to bitch at you for an hour. And I'm like, I don't even want to do that. All I want, here's the solution I want. Can you make this happen?
Yeah.
And that's actually how I start my conversations.
Well,
and I find that to be a lot more effective than like, hey, Francis, really appreciate you. Look nice. I'm only here for an hour. Do you think you could mow on the other side or just give us an hour so I can finish this, special interview?
Well, the confrontation thing, I remember I was in New Orleans and I was crossing the street from my apartment. You went to my place in New Orleans. I was crossing the street. It's like that really narrow street. And this dude was like, just drove down the street super fast. He almost hit me with his car. And so I just went like that. Like, whoa. Like, I made a motion like you just almost hit me with your car. But I didn't like flip him off or anything. This dude slams on the brakes, throws it in reverse, and like gets out. And it was like, I remember actually, like, it was a good and a bad situation because like I think if I was younger, I would have like gotten really into the confrontation, and then but I was just old enough to go, I don't want to escalate this any further, and just old enough to go like, I could have just gotten myself shot here. Like, it was someone who could have shot me, right? And like maybe I could have seen that from the car, but it was like I don't need to die over this thing.
Oh, so what happened? What did he say?
No, I was just like, whatever. Like, I just de-escalated the situation that I myself had escalated, Yeah. And it was like, oh, okay. I don't need to get in pointless confrontations about things that I don't actually care about just to be heard, like just to verbally or, articulate my my frustration in some way or another. That's not worth dying over, especially in a place like because I reminded myself of this a couple months ago. I honked at someone at the parking lot in the parking lot of Waffle House on Ben White, and this dude like was gonna get. I was like, this dude could be carrying a gun. Like, this is not what I want to die over, and like this is not where I should be doing.
Why'd you honk at him?
Because he backed up where he wasn't supposed to do, and he almost hit my car. So it was like. He almost hit my car, and then I think I probably threw in like an extra honk, let's say, right?
Yeah, let you do that extra honk,
yeah. And it was like, that's not worth anything. And then...
how was the waffle?
I don't eat waffles there, but it was good. I like the grits.
Oh, yeah, the grits. I mean, how would you feel like Tombstone, obituary?
Right, he died
Holiday,
in a Waffle
great
House.
Rioter, he died at Waffle House.
Yeah, he died in a Waffle House.
He double honked.
Right, and yeah, so it's not worth it. And then now when I call customer service, because okay, so this is a good one. So I found this is so embarrassingly recent, considering I've written a book about stoicism. But I was yelling in the phone about like I was like,
what was it?
It was like, I already told you my fucking phone number. I said something like this, and then Sam was like, who are you talking to? And I was like, I had to be on. It was actually like the voice automated, like I was yelling at a robot, right? Like, where it's like, I entered my phone number, and then it was like, please enter your phone number, and then it's like, I entered my phone number, and it's like, please say your phone number, and it's like, I already gave you my fucking phone number. Like I was like, I just got in an argument with a robot. Like, this is so little to do with the other person and everything to do with me.
Yeah.
That's like not. So now when I get on the phone, I go like, how am I likely to get upset? How is getting upset going to solve this situation?
Totally.
And how can I think in advance? Like, I think I've gotten a little better at seeing when it starts to escalate, and then go like, okay, escalation solves nothing here, and not do that.
Totally. The only two things I could say to that is, one, I have noticed with international people, they don't understand me. I just say, can you please transfer me to an American?
Yeah.
And doing that actually in the beginning has made it a lot easier, because they like transfer me to like Elizabeth, and Elizabeth, her real name is actually Elizabeth.
Yeah. Or I just say like, I want to talk. I'm like, I already know that what I'm asking for is not something this person can do. So I just ask for like a manager or supervisor.
Totally.
But I'll be really demanding over the phone. But like if I ate at a restaurant and the food sucked, I would just take it.
You see, I can't do that. Yeah. I got to tell you, well, the two things I was going to add. One is the energy level. I think one thing I've noticed is that night in the parking lot, I thought a lot about this, where I went up to them and I was just like, hey, I think I actually was speeding too fast.
Yeah.
But this guy just called me a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Because I was doing something wrong. Right. And I was like, and then I went to my place, and I was with my lady friend, and like, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Their whole night is ruined by how they responded to that action.
Sure.
My whole night, like, I laughed about it with the girl, and then I think we ended up watching like a Disney flick.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was just an interesting moment, like how we give that much power to other people over like certain experiences. Like they let that experience ruin the rest of their night, and maybe even the next day.
Well, there's that expression. It's like anger is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. Like you're mad at someone else, but it's really you're the one.
Totally.
And unless, and this is where I think anger is really destructive, when you're so angry that the only way you think you'll feel better is by hurting another person. Like, do you ever get that feeling?
Yes.
To me, that's a very disgusting, inexcusable. Like if you're ever in such a shitty mood, and like I can catch myself like looking to like hurt someone in an interaction. Do you know what I mean? Like. I feel like, for instance, like I actually think as a society we're bad at doing this, like with controversies. Like Alec Baldwin got in trouble a couple of years ago for like calling a photographer like a cocksucker, which someone said was like an anti-gay slur. And I guess it is, but it's it's a paparazzi photographer who's like in his face. What Alec Baldwin is feeling anger. And he's trying to hurt another person with words. And the smarter you are and the more articulate you are, the easier it is to do that. And so I think you actually have to me, it's something he should apologize for, less because it's a slur and more because he was just like trying to be hurtful. Mean.
I do think if that guy sucks dick though, I think that's a fine slur to say. Okay, right? Like it's the same thing. I was actually thinking about it this morning because I was about to call someone a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I was like, they probably don't fuck their mom.
Probably not.
So I literally texted him mother lover. I was like, dude, you probably love your mom.
but yeah, I think most of the embarrassing things or things that I wish that I hadn't done in my life are almost universally because I was mad about something.
Do you have any other?
No, I don't have any. I'm just saying, like the worst things that you, like the confrontations that I've gotten, whenever you're reacting emotionally to something, it's not good.
But I think that's the best point. Well, two things I want to say. One is, I keep saying two things. One, I think it's like your responsibility to respond to the reaction, right? Like you are choosing to give that other person the power. You are choosing the emotion.
Yeah.
And I think when people actually take responsibility, like on my phone every day, it says, it's always your responsibility.
Yeah.
Every day it comes up on my phone. And every day I'm like, yeah, I can choose to be mad about this or I can choose to do something about it.
There's a story we tell in, we have an email for Daily Stoic. That sends out every day, and I just wrote this a couple weeks ago, but there's a good one. There's a story about Cato, who's a Stoic philosopher, and he's in like a Roman bath, and someone bumps into him, and there's like an argument, and then the guy hits him, and then they get separated, and everyone makes the other guy apologize.
So they're naked in a bath together.
I don't know. Maybe they're wearing togas. Maybe they're wearing togas. I don't know what's going on.
Like if I hit your dick in a bath, you'd probably be weirded out.
Yes, but so there's a fight. Like a fight breaks out. The guy punches Cato, and Cato. Then they get separated, and then when the person like finds out who Cato is, he apologizes, and Cato goes, "What are you talking about? I don't even remember being hit." He's saying like the Stoic. If you get to a certain point, you go. I refuse to even acknowledge that you did something to me that would make me feel bad.
I think we give so much, so we give power to the other people. We just, we like give them the power to make us feel bad about ourselves.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Like I had this business thing recently, and I don't know legally if I'm allowed to talk about certain parts of it, but it was very easy for me to be mad at this person and let him ruin my day and because I think he did things that were wrong to me. Yeah. And I was just like, let him go and fuck his own life up. Right. And I'll just keep doing what I can control in my own life.
The reminder that I usually give myself is like, it doesn't tend to work out for those people.
Yes, right? They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it to themselves.
But it's like, what I think is like, is it pleasant to be that person? Right? Like,
that makes you feel better about it.
Yeah. Like, is it pleasant to be that person? Like I think Donald Trump is horrible, right? But I would say that for the most part, I mean, not that people should not do anything about Donald Trump, but my point is, isn't being Donald Trump a really horrible punishment? Do you know what I mean? Like I would not want to be inside that head.
Believe me, Ryan.
Right.
It's the best. It's the best.
And the fact that he says that so often is how you know that it's not that.
That's a good point. Like a lot of times the things we like overly confident or overly brag about, we're probably insecure around.
And almost all of the things that Donald Trump accuses other people of doing, he's obscenely guilty of himself, being corrupt.
We'll come off of
the
Trump train. Because, 95% of my audience is Trump fans, and I want to keep my sponsors of Walmart, Texaco. I need my Kagan. So last week I was at Topgolf. You've gone to Topgolf?
Yeah, I love
It's a great experience. It's like a driving range for adults. And I ordered fried pickles. I love fried pickles. I don't know if
they have good food there.
Yeah, pretty good food.
Yeah.
So I had my fried pickles, and they came out and they were cold.
Okay.
And I don't want to make everything a thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think the challenge for everyone else out there is if you pay for something and you don't like what you get, ask for what you want.
Sure.
And so it's one of these things where like, I don't know, I'd rather, if I'm paying for it, I should get what I want. So I think for next time you guys have a challenge I would do that. So I asked her, the waitress came and I said, hey, these are cold. Do you mind just like bringing us like fresh ones that you just cooked? And then she brought some out and she actually, I don't know if it wasn't about them giving it to me for free, but it ended up like, then I got my fried pickles and they were delicious.
I would do stuff like that. It's more like my problem is, and maybe this is what I was reacting to with your parents, where it's like to such a degree that it's almost impressive, right? Where it's like, if you sat down, let's say you had like an expensive steak at a steakhouse, like, so it's two people, the bill's a couple $100, and it was just like mediocre. Would you say something?
Oh, of course.
So I would only do, if the steak came cold, I would be like, I want what I get. But if I would more go like, that was a okay experience. Like I would be okay with a 5. I wouldn't insist on a 10. But if I got a 1, I'd be like, this doesn't work for me.
Well, like yesterday, I returned my cheese.
Like at a grocery store?
I returned my cheese. Well, because Parmesan Romano doesn't taste as good as Parmesan cheese. It was the Romano version, which I do not like.
Okay.
So to your steak point and to my cheese point, if they did the best and the best was that steak, I can't complain. That's like what they did.
Yeah.
But if I think there's something like grossly wrong, and then like, so there's two things. If it's grossly wrong, then I'll say something.
Yeah.
If it's my mistake, I actually don't think they should pay for it. Like the cheese, I just chose incorrectly.
Okay.
I cheesed it incorrectly.
But then you returned it.
So I went back to them and said, hey, I didn't really like this. Like, I don't mind paying for it. Do you mind if I wouldn't mind paying for it, but if you'd exchange it, I'd appreciate that too.
Yeah.
And they ended up just saying they'd exchange it.
Got it.
I also live upstairs from the Trader Joe's, so it's not like I like drove across town.
Sure.
I like had my assistant exchange it. All right, so we've talked a lot about asking. So next time you guys have a confrontation, work on the solution.
Yes.
Next time you have something maybe you don't want, like at least try asking for what you want, and then seeing. Because I think the overall point that we both recognize. So see, it came up. It's always your responsibility.
Got it.
Every day.
You have a reminder?
Every day.
Okay.
I just set a reminder and I just say remind me tomorrow, and every day I'm like, all right, and it's just a nice kind of like
That's
refresher.
a good mantra.
I
like that it might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility.
Yes.
That one.
I like that. It's just like, I want to blame people sometimes, and I'm like, what can I do about it? All right, so next time you have a thing, go ask for it. There's no cost to asking. And that's actually from Donald Trump's book. If you've read The Art of the Deal, which is a surprisingly good book, it's one of the best.
Okay.
All right, so
it's the best-selling business book of all time? Which is objectively untrue. It's not. He claims that.
Oh, his book?
Yeah.
I thought you were asking.
Like Tim, who we both know, has sold like maybe 3 times as many books as Donald Trump. Like it's just hilarious. Like it's just a certifiably false claim.
Hi y'all, I'm Noah's mom. If you like what you're seeing, please give this video a share and leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll spank you. By the way, check out my playlist with Ryan Holiday for more goodies. Adios!